Ok, perfetto, allora ci siamo. Motore, azione.
Non fate questo lavoro.
So there comes a point in your career in filmmaking where you feel like you need to take a leap and do something. So back in the summer, I decided to shift my focus a bit on directing and making my own personal work. Part of that ideas included making spec work, and so I wrote and direct a fun project with intent to just making something cool. Today's video is going to be the behind the scene of the first of the 2 episodes of my recent spec project I did for Sennheiser headphone commercial. So hopefully in this video I will be able to give you a better understanding of how we approach this project from pre-production to the actual production process. This specific project is already out there, so if you have seen already, great. If you haven't seen already, just go and check it out after behind the scene. Every filmmaker has a goal to work with the top brands in the world, and in today's age, I think the only way to break out into the industry is by creating spec work. But first, what is spec work? Spec work is creating any project that you create on your own using your own time and money, specifically in order to attract new clients. But why would anyone want to work for free? Well, if you are in the early stage of your career or you simply want to improve the quality of your portfolio, you have to prove to the others that you are capable of shooting a professional project. A lot of people on YouTube like to talk about the cool stuff of filmmaking, like the lighting, the camera, the shoot, and so on. But before those things are ever executed, you need to come up with a good game plan. And that's where pre-production and ideas comes in. Let's start by saying that this project was so far the most fulfilling one. I had the goal of shooting a fun, comical narrative piece to put a twist on all the ads we always see. So it all started around Christmas time when I bought myself a new pair of headphones, the Sennheiser Momentum 4, and immediately an idea popped up into my head. So I quickly grabbed my phone and made a note. I wanted to create a spec work that had a commercial feel, and I asked myself, how can I make stand out a pair of headphones and make the visual and audio experience so special? So from there, I started developing a director treatment and structured the whole concept. This is where we are going to start looking at the pre-production process and how I approached for the cinematography side. Pre-production is the most important part of creating a successful piece of work, and the tool I like to use most of the time is Milano Note. But for this one, I end up using simply Canva. So I'm going to be diving into the exact boards I used to plan this project, starting off with the project description. The project is a spec commercial envisioned to highlight the immersive sound quality and performance of the Sennheiser headphones. The narrative revolves around the whole concept of how audio can transport the listener to the entirely new worlds and transform even an ordinary activity into an extraordinary experience. It also aims to evoke emotions, stimulate curiosity, and communicate the message that Sennheiser headphones offer a unique audio experience capable of transporting the user to extraordinary dimension. Moving on the color and lighting reference. Here is where I collect some of the stills from other commercials and movies. This step is very important for any project to be aligned with what the project is supposed to feel and look like. For this project, I wanted to create welcoming an atmosphere and establish a positive mood, making the viewer more likely to have a positive experience with the product. So I opted for a warmer look by playing with the lighting, color temperature, and color grading impulse to convey a specific sensation to those watching the scene. So what I love about making this director treatment is the fact that Canva or Milano Note, you can do endless possibility with really organizing your thoughts with a lot of visual cues. And then if we look at all of this, you can see that what we are going for with the direction of what these shots are supposed to look like, as well as other key points that other people on set are supposed to know. This just allows so many visual cues to everybody get on the same page and get aligned. So once I sat down to refine the idea, I knew I needed help with the project. So the next step was getting a crew, specifically a group of people driven by the desire to collaborate and eager to learn. For this crew, I went with Stefano, Luca, Daniele, Enrico, another Daniele, and I had a constant pre-production chat with Stefano and Luca specifically that helped me a lot securing the project and coordinate the entire shooting. We ran through the script, the shot list shared from me, and the numerous reference images, so we were just constantly keeping in touch and getting on the same page of what this is going to actually look like. As for the actors, I landed on two characters, one male and one female figure. The two had to play the part of the mother and son, possibly a real family, but we knew that casting would be a difficult part, especially here in Sardinia, where I live, that there are no real professional actors. But one day my friend Luca reached out to me and told me that he had found the right mother and son for this role. So immediately the next day I decided to have a meeting with them, and that is because I always like to get in touch with the team and the actors to have a great time and also to get to know each other. So there is a lot of stuff that you can't plan for and a lot of spontaneous things that happen sometimes, but for the most part I like to come into with a solid plan and a really solid outline that can generally be broken down into chapters. And each chapter has his own shot list that needs to be captured and his music reference to give a general sense of the vibe of the film. With the two actors, I sent over outline and overall ideas so that they can actually get a sense of their head of what this thing was going to look like, feel like, and be about. The main figure had to play the part of the one and only main character of the video. He was the only one who represented this experience and engaging reality through a series of events. The female figure had to play the part of the mother who played the role of the stern character and common to the classic figurative canons of parents. She joined in the video only in the final part as an upview of these alternative events. We also did a quick outfit fitting directly on the first day of shooting because we had no time and had many clothes options to try, so we had to see which one was the right one for the entire scenes, and I let the actors bring their own clothes with the outfit reference I did send to them early on the presentation I have made. And the idea for the clothes was to find something that feels cozy and stylish at home, but not like a pajama, and so sweaters and a more casual look is what I was going for. As for the location, we found a boutique holiday homes in Sardinia that provides various homes for every type of need. Then we reached out to Anna, who is the owner of the boutique, and explained her what this project was all about and what we wanted to do. And she was kind enough to let us use one of the home vacation for the 2 days of production. So we searched on their website and found one that could suit perfectly for my needs and was the right choice. It's a modern, large and bright space with a characteristic design. Location scouting is such an important process to see if you can make a location work, as well as seeing for that location is the best suited for your project. But here are 4 main things that I like to do on location scouting. I take pictures of the entire space and also use the sun tracking app to see where the sun will be throughout the day in the location, and the app is called Sunseeker. Once we have done that, we also had conversation in the space, and then at the point we move on the pre-visualization process, and this is mainly shooting some scenes before it even happens. I like to keep it simple and do that with an iPhone or little camera, and then I do this to see if my ideas make sense. Maybe certain shots won't work in a specific location but we work in another, so this just gives you a basic idea of what the project will look like. With all of these steps, we are ready to move on and creating a lighting plan. After scouting a location, I knew what lighting equipment I would need and what camera moves I want to achieve. First off, I want to tackle the lighting plan because I had the location fresh in my head and I know exactly which space we were shooting in. So I used lighting diagram from the app called Sidus Link to create a film set where we will be shooting, and I dialed in all the lighting I was going to place on the shooting day, and I added them to the director treatment to then print for the whole crew. This is an ongoing process in terms of developing your lighting package. You might start off with an initial lighting package and add things as you go, or it might be completely different by the end of the project in terms of how you execute it. As usual, I made sure to get the whole crew arrive early on the location so that we can take advantage of time and start preparing the set. What I like to do as director is to bring everyone together to discuss the various tasks to be held on the set and how to face the day in the best way. It also helped me to give the right balance and positive impact to the guys on the set of how to manage the various things as best as possible and do teamwork. As for the lighting part, we brought all the lights and gear we previously planned the day before the actual shooting together with some of the crew members to prepare a set and start designing the space we were shooting, and we will strip them away as we go to help speed up the day. We also brought additional lights just in case we run into any problems, as well as all the grip we needed to pull this off. And I knew this purely because of the location scout. Had I not taken picture of the space, would have figured out how to rig all the lights and what additional lights I had to bring. So production happens, and basically what I was doing was running throughout all the shots and thinking about each move on set. From coordinating the assistant for the lighting position, the BTS guys, shooters for the creative aspect, and making sure that everything was all set all the way it's supposed to be initially, and overall directing and DP the whole project. This was the first time directing with a bigger crew, and as you guys know, I did a lot of planning for this project, so I was like super prepared on the day, because normally as first time director you want to come in there with a game plan and not just to try to wing it. So here I am like super nervous and just directing and talk to the talents and just making sure everyone is happy. I was directing the lighting, I was directing talents and camera and all this stuff. As director and producer, I also wanted to take position on the camera department, and so I filmed some scene because I know exactly how I wanted them to feel, and it was easier for me to just doing. It is important to mention that while you are the director and you know what do you wanna, it's also equally important to explain your process to your talents and team, so that everyone know what you need from them. And it kind of helps to communicate with your model. And one thing that I think that every director should be able to do is be able to act out the action that you need from your talents or model, even if you think it looks silly doing it. So it's just important that you can mimic what you need so that you know the model is on the same page with you. Another thing I think all the creatives should have in use is the right equipment on set. It is important that you try to get the right one to get the shots that you need. One in particular that I remember having was my diopter filters and an RGB light flashlight from Small Rig. Few shot was the micro high and air shot that my lens normally couldn't get, and so I used different diopter filters with different intensity, and the shot came out pretty great. Same goes for the flashlight that helped us on the set to create more depth and various patterns for the shots we wanted, like this one for example, where we used this tool on the left side of the frame to help shaping the light the way we wanted, thanks to the specific goggles that enrich your story, creating lighting patterns. This project was nerve-wracking because I had full crew to direct, and because it was the first time working with a bigger group of people and the talents never had any type of experience as acting. I would say Problem solving was the key word of this project. There were so many ups and downs during the production, and now I want to walk you through all the unpredictable things we had to fix and manage since the beginning. The way I had planned and organized everything was to shoot all the various scenes of the house only on the first day, and then focus on the visual effect shots on the second day. Everything was all good. We had a quick briefing and everyone had their task to do until this happened. And the situation became a bit more complicated. The rain has predicted from the day before began to fall in an absurd way, this slowing down the entire production and the timing that I already had planned. So we moved accordingly and got a tarp big enough to cover the veranda side where the various set lights were to be placed for the next days. This took us few hours to set up. I find it very important as a director to try almost to have a plan B, or at least adapt to the situation by improvising on the set. Obviously, it is not always that easy, and in fact, during the course of the organization and the shooting, I had down moments, and believe me, it's really frustrating. So communication is always important on set to understand each other and to be potentially aligned on the production of every film for get a better result. And I was overall very happy of how we managed these unpredictable moments and got the ball rolling. Now the rest of the shot was mostly just following the shot list and direction and getting all the clips I wanted to film on the first day. And we had a lot of things kind of going into it. I had very supportive team and the production came out great considering all the issues we had on set. In my opinion, the edit came out super fun. I had a great time editing. I did all the colors, sound design and editing, everything myself, because I like to try to keep some of this project true to the solo filmmaker road. I wanted to keep the edit simple but yet effective with intention of keeping viewers' attention high through the frames and sound design. So why you should make spec work? Well, number one, because to raise the quality of your portfolio. And the thing about spec work is you can spend as much time as you need to craft the perfect image, perfect sound design, that kind of thing, and you usually don't have the benefit on set. And the second thing is if you want to start doing a different kind of work than you are currently doing, so maybe corporate video or commercial or something else, well, doing a project in that genre will actually showcase that potential client. The things I love about this project is just how beautiful it is to connect with people, collaborate, create fun stuff, have a great time and grow together at the end of the day. It's always something I'm super grateful for as a filmmaker, and it makes me feel so alive and reminds me why I like to put myself through new experience. You work on some project where passion just flow like the wind, you know. So yeah, this was probably one of the most fun projects I've had on a shoot. Planning out in my own and getting everything ready on my own and holding many different roles was definitely a challenge. And I think that's one of the things that I really appreciate on creating spec work.
Secondo me questa settimana pulisci tu a casa. Dopo questa...
No, adesso le faccio adesso in virtù del fatto che mi hai cazziato più volte, pulisci tu.